To say it's about time would be the understatement of the millennium. Never did I think I was going to be able to bring this to you via a live stream, and we're going to be doing that tonight. Now, not exactly the way I envisioned it. Of course, I would have loved to have brought to you the Atari ST version, and we will in a non-live segment in our retro computing series that we're going to be starting very soon. This is the Commodore 64 Mini 720p HD output of Temple of Apshai Trilogy, Epyx's very own, straight from the Dungeon Quest series made in the 70s. I'm sorry if this is too retro for you. So, fake retro gamers need not apply. This is real stuff right here. So real that in this version, they didn't even program the room descriptions into the game. Oh no. We're going to be reading them from this book. Yes, you're going to be read a story. BCG, Titus, DOA in the house. Yes, this is a role-playing game. This is the role-playing game. There were none before it. This is it. This was literally designed to bring Dungeons and Dragons to the screen. That was Dungeon Quest. In fact, you can input your character from your character sheet into this game. It's as old as I am, man. I know it says 85 because the trilogy didn't launch till then, but Temple of Apshai was 79, baby. This is old school. This is so deadgum old school, it makes me hurt. We're joined by Solid Nate, who is intensely solid. Solid Nate, I hope you brought some of your gameplay oomph with you tonight, because I'm going to need it in the temple. It's an unforgiving place for a young and weary adventurer. DOA wants to know how he is not a mod. I need to make more of you mods. I just haven't been on that screen in a long time. How am I, BCG? I'm doing great, because we're about to play Temple of Apshai Trilogy. Optimus Ponder has joined us. Welcome, Optimus. Now, this book is from my Atari ST copy, which was a brand new copy I got off of eBay, because mine, eventually the film in it died. The disc was so old. 85! This thing's never been touched by human hands, but tonight I'll be reading you the room descriptions from this ancient tomb, as well as maybe some poetry inside. We are going to create a new character. So we're going to go to the virtual keyboard, and how cool is this? Tell me they didn't think of everything. Woodberryan has joined us. Welcome, Woodberryan Retro Game Hunter. You were in time to see the granddaddy of all RPGs. So we're going to go to the letter C. And here's my roll. It auto-rolls your stats for you. My character's name is Emceemur. Now, of course, this game was not as good looking as the version on the Atari ST, which was stunning, since a VGA monitor came stock on that computer in 85, 86. I mean, that was unheard of. Even the top-of-the-line IBMs didn't come with that. So, I was really spoiled as a child on those. Solid Nate says that he likes I play interesting games that he's never played. This is one you gotta play. I'm sure there's a way to emulate it somewhere, but yeah, this is some ancient history right here. This is a dinosaur, but it is so freaking cool. Alright, so there he is, Emceemur. I got my stats. It's time to go shopping. It's time to outfit this character. I think we're a little ahead of schedule, but I couldn't wait to get started. So anybody tuning in right at 8, they're still going to see the bulk of this thing. I want to go over here and I want to purchase a fine weapon. Now, the innkeeper will haggle with you a little bit, and that's a good thing. We got to see what my strength is. My strength's an 11. I didn't come up very big on that. So we're going to go with a broadsword. Certain weights of swords you will not be able to carry. And encumbrance is a thing in this game. So you want to make sure you got enough room to carry your gear as well as the treasure. What offerest thou? So we're going to come in. He's at 18. I'm going to say 16. Yeah, let's go with that. Done. He's okay with it. Roaming Dan is in the house. Alright, so we've got a broadsword. That's cool. But now we need some armor. And we might as well get a shield. That's the next thing on the list. I don't think we're going to be able to afford too much in the way of a shield, but anything's better than nothing at this point. So we will get a large tower shield. And we're going to come in at about 12, and maybe he'll take it. I noticed this innkeeper is a lot less stingy than the Atari version. The one on the ST, he'll hurl insults at you. He doesn't really want offers. You might shave off a coin on him, but he ain't going to come off that much. I've been playing this game since I was 7 years old, by God. I'm going to be 40 next month, ladies and gents. This is old. I mean, retro gaming. Yeah, retro gaming. Love it. But this, I'm showing my age here, acting like this is cool. And it is. This, and I even liked some old text-based games with no pictures. Colossal Cave Adventure, I thought that was so cool. We're going to come in at about 20. Let's see how low he'll go. 26. Done. Can I just name my price? I don't know to what level the Commodore 64 is, you know, as far as its intricacies, I don't know how it measures up. DGC is here and he is ready for me to read some stories. Well, I do have the book, so that's going to happen. 66 silver left. We've got some leather armor. We need a bow. Now, you can sword fight with the monsters all you want. I know that's something that Titus is into. But you're going to need some projectile weapons. Some of these monsters you do not want to trade licks with. We'll get us a bow. We've got one. We're going to need to get some healing salves, but we're definitely going to need some arrows. Arrows, you get 2 per silver. So I guess, you know, I want to have at least 4 salves to heal up with. I guess we're going to get, let's get about 20. I think that's fair. And then we'll get us our healing salves. And we can afford 4 of them. That leaves a little bit of money left at the bottom to get some more arrows just in case we totally get owned in the temple. And that's possible. Dominic, welcome to the stream if you're just joining us. Guys, we're ready to run in the shadows. We're ready to enter the temple. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to say we want a slow monster speed. How is none an option? You've got to go so. I guess that's if you change your mind and you don't want to go in just yet. But we're going to go straight into the temple. Level 1, level 1. World 1-1. Here we are. The music is so great. Not as detailed as the Atari version, but man. And yes, it's all about the salves. I mean, in D&D, our cleric, you'd think she was a masseuse. She's rubbing salves on us every freaking round just about. We're getting carved up over here. Room 1. Picture this in the most powerful graphics engine in history, the imagination. The smooth stonework of the passageway floor shows that advanced methods were used in its creation. A skeleton sprawls on the floor just inside the door, a bony hand, still clutching a rusty dagger outstretched toward the door to safety. A faint roaring sound can be heard from the far end of the passage. Well, goodness knows we can't just stay here. Now, I already know there's nothing in that box worth picking up, so I am not going to get it. Some treasure chests are just debris and you just leave them behind. That one is also debris. We're going to keep walking. And I know there's a secret door to my right, but I'm not ready to fight what's in it, so I'm going to keep walking. Besides, we're on tour here. We want to see the temple. Now, it's important to note that we can search for traps, but that counts as an action. Just like in D&D. When you're doing things, things happen. And because I took 2 turns, a skeleton has appeared. So has cool ass Robert Payne. Welcome back, Robert Payne. Hope you are feeling your best, sir. Glad to have you on the scene. Yes, Dan, I have to read the story for you out of the book. The Atari ST version has a description tab, so it's in the game and you can read it. But I had to figure this out for myself. It's actually in the book. I actually have the book, so we can read it. Alright, so we got to figure out how we're going to take this guy on. I don't know if I've got a shot at him with the arrow. He's cocked a little to the right, and it looks like he's doing a tap dance. Got him. I was afraid that might miss him. But now there's a swamp rat next to me. Alright, so we're going to turn to the left. Now, I'm afraid the arrow's not going to hit him. I'm going to take a stab with my sword. And there's attacks, and then there's thrusts. I'm going to go for a thrust and go for a kill shot by hitting T. Alright, I got him, but he's still with us. I blocked his attack with my shield. Now I can get an arrow shot in. I'm awfully close to do it, but it's almost a guaranteed kill. Ugh, we can't afford to take any hits this early on. We've only got leather armor and we don't want to get tore up. Canadian Retro is here, I see. Welcome, CR. Now, back to the screen. Alright, so we're in room number 8. I'm supposed to be reading these to you. I'm taking for granted that I know all of this. A passage with smooth stone walls and floor and a native rock ceiling. A loud roaring sound may be heard from the north. A humanoid skull rests on the floor in the middle of the passageway. Spine tingly dingly. Alright, so we're going to try to get this box here. Virtual keyboard. Now, it could just be debris. It is. It's just trash. So, say we don't want that trash. We go to drop the treasure. The treasure number is what identifies it in your inventory. So, I simply put in 20 and then hit enter and it's gone. And that way it's not weighing us down. But hopefully we're going to find something that's worth something so that we can upgrade our armor. And yes, you need to get this by any means possible. I know there's a lot of ways to emulate, and if you have a computer with a CD drive, I'm sure most of you do, there's a guy by the name of All Video on eBay, and he sells DOSBox versions of these games with the original software, so it's not piracy, it's legit. He's just developed a system, a program for these to run on current Windows operating systems, so it is totally a way to physically play this and it not actually be an emulation, so to speak. We are in room 11. Any further questions about that, message me. I'll be glad to hook you up. A mist drifts into the corridor from an opening in the west wall, and a deafening roar is heard. Moss covers the floor before the opening to the west, and a rusty sword lies on the mossy stone. Well, that's hot. Now, this also might be trash. I don't know, but we're going to check it out. Let's go to the virtual keyboard. I love the music. It's so sick. God, this is so sick. They could have named any price that they wanted to name, and I would have purchased this. Crows has joined us. Welcome, Crows. Good to see you. And the GamerCube 64 show is in the house. Good to see you as well. You guys are in time for some seriously old school RPGs. We're in room number 16. I noticed that it's more seamless when you go into another room than the Atari ST, which is strange. The screen will kind of flash when you go in the next room. It's almost kind of dangerous because you don't realize you've shifted rooms and a monster can just be there and then the poop pops off. Again, this is all in rounds, in turns, like Dungeons & Dragons. This is what it was modeled after. Room 16, here you find the source of a roaring sound. A stream flows into the chamber from the south, across the large water wheel, and plummets into a pit in the floor of the cave. The bottom of the pit cannot be seen, but experiments will indicate that it is a very long drop. That is fantastic. I believe we have a donation from Double J, Jason Joseph. I did not know Double J was in the house. Welcome, Jason, to our Tuesday night live stream. Temple of Apshai Trilogy on the Commodore 64 Mini. BCG wants to know how he gets his hands on the Commodore Mini. There's a website called shopformegastore.com. Shop for, the number 4, megastore.com. And they were selling it. But they're not the only ones. It's just you're going to have to order it from overseas. It has not been released in the States yet. And they're way overdue on that, man. Found thee a secret door. I couldn't wait anymore. I had to have it. Alright, so... boom. Whoa, too far. We're going to go up 1 step, 2 steps, turn to the right. Okay, I'm having trouble gauging the distances because, again, the graphics are a lot different than the version I'm used to. But all in all, this is pretty cool for it to be technically on a console. Okay, we may have something here. What's in here? Trash. Room number 12. The floor, walls, and ceiling of the chamber bear the marks of tools. A glow fills the opening to the east, and a foul, musty odor is in the air. Kind of just makes you want to roll some dice, doesn't it? Oh, I don't like this. It's too quiet. Room number 13. The room is well lighted by the phosphorescent glow emanating from the greenish-yellow algae covering the high ceilings of native rock and well-worked stone walls to the north and south. A broken bow lies in 2 pieces on the floor near the east wall. Now, a lot of times the descriptions of the room will directly reflect what's in these treasure chests, and it'll make sense to you when you read it. You know, a description of a cool sword or something may indicate that the treasure in that room is just that, a sword with a buff of some kind. Shiny algae. Could be worth something, I don't know. We have phosphorescent algae so far for our trouble. Yeet! Having phosphorescent algae. Alright, so we've discovered a secret room. We're going back out. Virtual keyboard. There's the door. Oh, the music just makes my heart so happy. The music makes my heart happy. Yeah, there's a lot of trash in this level. Now, there's more dangerous levels where the treasures, I mean, there's some really big payoffs. The first level of the temple's not too dangerous, and there's not a whole lot of amazing treasure. But everything has a pretty cool progression to the way it develops in the descriptions as you go deeper and deeper into the dungeon. Double J Jason Joseph is in his house. Alright, room number 14. What does it say? A loud roaring sound may be heard from the west end of the passage. A pyramid of medium-sized stones fills one corner of the north wall at the east end of the corridor. So, before we actually go over there and get that chest, we are going to walk up here and examine this room, because it is a separate chamber. An irregular cave of native rock. The walls and floor are covered with a heavy matting of multi-hued moss. The walls are brilliant reds, greens, and blues, while the floor is a pastel yellow. A wooden box lies topless in the middle of the cavern floor. Inside lies a well-made cloak. The material of the cloak seems to shimmer in the torchlight. That's pretty neat. Oh, we just got hit with a mold trap. I should have searched for traps. So when you get hit with a mold trap, it gives off poisonous spores that causes coughing fits and swelling. We're going to have to pump up the jam on all those salves. What is he doing? Eating them? So we're at 88% on our health. There's worse things to be at. And now there's a skeleton. They really don't want me to have this treasure. It must be something good. I'm going to put an arrow right in his gonads. We're rock-a-donk! Okay, now we're going to make one step up here. There will only ever be one trap per room, so we're safe there. A cloak. So there was a cloak in there. The Atari version is beautiful, and you will see it in our retro computing segment that we're going to start filming here very soon. It's just gorgeous. But then again, this was a Commodore 64. My Atari 1040 ST was a beast compared to that, and again, came with a VGA monitor stock. The ST was an attractive computer for musicians because it had all those MIDI capabilities that were so hot in the 80s. So it was just equipped to do more. I bet you that's trash all day. But we'll check. It is. Well, let's drop it. We don't want to get weighed down, because when you get too weighed down, the encumbrance makes it tough for you to swing your sword too. That was one of them. Well, good enough for now. The controls on the C Mini aren't bad. We're using this Commodore joystick right here. And with this keyboard in here, and I wondered how that was going to work. But, yeah, it's manageable. And I think, you know, gamers by today's standards might potentially get impatient with it. I don't know. But I'm cool. I'm cool in the gang with this, because this is so old school. Okay, room number 19. Small bones litter the floor of this chamber and crunch under the boots of the incautious traveler. Well, we better be careful there. In fact, so careful, let's search for traps. And you got to remember, when you search for traps, those are actions. Everything you do might result in a random monster encounter. Is there a way to plug in a keyboard on the Commodore Mini? I think there is. There are 2 USB slots, so I think you can. And that may be something I attempt in the future when I have a little one back here that's ready to be used. But the virtual setup on here just means that you don't have to have anything else if you don't want it. The passage reeks of spoiled and rotten matter. A strip of cloth sticks out from beneath a mound of dirt in the southern portion of the passageway. By all means, let's go. Whoa, I didn't mean to go that way. Go back, adventurer. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. Ow, hog dookie. I wanted something good. Canadian Retro makes the point, some games you're going to have to hit those keys fast. So that's true. This isn't going to be suitable for everything, but so far this is pretty boss. Room 21. The west wall of the cavern shows the marks of carving tools, but the rest is natural rock. The floor of the room is overgrown with mushrooms, 2 varieties. One has broad, flat caps and is white with brown splotches. The second variety has black, tightly rounded caps. You needed to know that. Yeet, the mushroom information being given out. Alright, so we're going to get what I assume will be mushrooms. They might be worth something in the market. We don't know. Oh, I know how you guys are about your hockey up there. You can't miss that. I will certainly try not to die, CR. You know me. Ding, 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 ding. Alright, so we're in room number 20 now. The walls of the room are covered in algae. Most of the algae is black and rotten, but the few remaining brown patches have a nutty aroma, and if tasted, are reminiscent of spiced bread. The replay on this, honestly, I love playing it over and over again because you can go in there and roll some dice and actually make your own character from scratch, just like you would do in D&D. And to me, those numbers, it's interesting to see how the stats play out in game. Obviously, it's not in depth as a JRPG of current day or anything, but for what it is, this was so ahead of its time. Food algae. Yeet getting food algae. Can we get something shiny for once? I need something to pay the bills here. Thank you, CR, for that tweet. DGC says later. I don't know if you were saying that to someone or if you're leaving, DGC, but if you are leaving, I'm glad you stopped by, because this is something everybody's just got to see. It's the same music as the ST, just in a Commodore format, and it's so cool to hear. I mean, I could have had that version for this back then, but it was the 80s, man. You didn't, nowadays we have games on 3 different systems. That's just something we do. Back then, there was no way. Back then, you got a game for your birthday, a game for Christmas, and that was it. Did we read room 17? I don't think we did. Only the floor has been smooth in this chamber, the walls and ceiling having been left in the natural state. The air smells of decaying vegetable matter. A small mound of stones against the west wall in the north end of the passage partially blocks the way to the north. Okay, room number 23. The native rock walls of the room are covered with algae. Most of the algae is black and rotten, but the remaining brown patches have a nutty scent and taste like spiced bread. The exoskeleton of a huge ant lies in the middle of the chamber. Well, any of you that have delved the dungeons of Apshai before know what that is. Jason says, I'm sure Sword Quest on Atari borrowed a lot from this. I think a lot of games borrowed a lot from this and then didn't do as much, is what's wild. Because again, Dungeon Quest was 1979. So, I mean, wasn't nobody doing much of anything back then. Except maybe Pac-Man and Pong. More food algae. Look how he looks when he's walking. Looks like he's playing with himself. Yeet the man. Yeet. Room number 22. This cavern is also overgrown with the same types of mushrooms as found in room 21. A skeleton lies amongst the mushrooms, still clutching the remnants of a sack. Well, hopefully that sack was full of jewels. I almost want to say it was. Nope, just mushrooms. I was 2 in 79, says Opta. I was 1. Definitely wasn't playing Dungeon Quest at that point. It's like we were on the cusp of being Gen Xers, but we just missed the cutoff. But we still, for me, I relate more to that generation. DG says this was 79 graphics. Technically, this is 85 graphics. The 79 graphics weren't as pretty. Once they made this trilogy of all the Dungeon Quest games on this one setup, it came out in 1985. But if you'll look back at the old Dungeon Quest series, and oh no, there's a giant mosquito here, you'll see it isn't much worse than this. It's still pretty good by that, for what it is, for the program to be that in-depth. We are in room number 56. Man, we're really having to turn some pages here. Room 56 is a passage with rough stone walls and floor and a native granite ceiling. The south wall of the passage is faced with smooth, squarish stones near the far end, while the floor on the other walls are of rough stone. A foul, musty odor fills the air, and a thin layer of moss coats the floor at the extreme end of the passage. Now we've got to get rid of this mosquito, and we got to do it quick. I don't think I have a shot at him, but I'm going to take one. Oh, got him. Okay. Now to be cautious, we're going to take one step. Make sure another one doesn't appear. A sack of crystals. I ate a sack of crystals recently and I paid for it. God, I was up all night with the worst freaking reflux you ever had. I guarantee it. Alright, room number 24. We're getting close to some treasure. I can just feel it. A mossy, carved stone landing. The air is very humid and smells of damp and mold. A slime-covered sack rests against the eastern wall. Well, it certainly does, and we're going to beat feet over there and pick up whatever's in it. But if we have any sense, we're going to check for traps. Now again, I'm confused about where my feet actually touch that, where the hitbox is for that. So I'm going to take a step up and hope that we're still in contact with the chest, but not with the trap. Probably not, though. No, we got it, and it's trash. There's a lot of garbage in this level. Might as well drop the other one. Oh, God, it takes you right out of the menu when it does that. Oh, we need to remember there's a trap there. Now, this is a different room and a different chest. GamerCube64 says, how many rooms in total and where did you get the book? The book is actually from my Atari ST copy, but the descriptions are the same. It's the same game. In fact, a lot of the screenshots in this book are of the Commodore version. It was the more common version. Nobody really bought the Atari ST. Even as great of a computer as it was, it just did not sell well. A stagnant pond fills the south end of the carved stone chamber with a narrow landing at the south end. White mold, a lot of mold in here, covers the surface of the water save the southeast corner where a gold-colored seaweed is in evidence. Tests will reveal the water to be 3 feet deep, but the bottom of the pool cannot be seen through the murk. Well, we know that we want to get this... Oh, we got some kelp! And yes, this dungeon does need a cleaning lady. Yeet picking up some kelp. We will take this opportunity to go ahead and drop some more of the trash as we're getting weighed down here. There we are. Now, I was going to say, I think we're just to the right of the trap there. There's a trap! A shallow pond fills most of the room. The surface of the water is covered with a white mold except in the northeast corner where a clump of golden brown seaweed is visible. Are we really about to get some more seaweed? And you know, you're like, oh my god, I got some seaweed. Why the hell would I want this? But if you go in here to the treasure section, it will tell you what it is. Having spent some time up and down the coast, you know of several varieties of useful seaweed, so you take some along. It tells you what the value is. It tells you about everything that you picked up. A beautiful cloak, wondrously light, yet tough as nails. So it describes the treasures that you're picking up as you go. Now, I realize there's probably a lot of people that would look at this and be like, no, not playing that. And, you know, I get it. There's probably a lot of people, this would be way too slow moving. But, man, even before I got into playing pen and paper games, I had this game and I was into this. And I was like, man, it's almost like I did things in the wrong order. Like when I finally got into pen and paper games, it was like, well, dad darn. That was the influence for this. And now, with pen and paper, I can literally make any world I want to make. Robert Mitchell says this is better than that Animal Alien Wrestling of last time. No doubt, dude. I've never been so pissed off at Beast Wrestler. I rage quit. I don't rage quit games, dude. I rage quit that shit. I even deleted the upload. I deleted the stream. It was that bad. It's that bad. Is there a hidden door here? I believe there's one to the left of us, too. Hot damn. In we go. D&D is just the best. In fact, my group's texting me right now asking us if we're playing tomorrow. It's just, oh my god. What can't you do with some D&D? Alright, we're in room number 9 and 10 here. Yes, they're kind of out of order. Well, now we're in room 10. The air of the room is filled with a cloying, sweet aroma, causing the senses to reel. The walls of the room are covered with moss, which is largely brown and dried, with only a few pale green patches remaining. Breaking off any part of the green moss will reveal it as the source of the aroma. Alright, so I'm feeling a little leery about this room. We're going to search for traps. Sometimes you have to search a few times for the trap. Usually in about 3 good pulls on the keyboard there. He'll either find it or there's just not one. And I can't help but think your intuition or some of your stats may have something to do with how long it takes you to get that. Your stats do increase, as do your experience points, based on what you do in the dungeons. Moss. We are joined by Sean Vinson. Welcome, Sean, to our Tuesday night live stream of Temple of Apshai on the Commodore 64 Mini in brilliant 720p HD. GamerCube says, do I play D&D Adventures League? We play our own world. I've created an entire universe in which we roleplay. We've been in the same campaign now for 3 years, and I'm planning to novelize the entire thing because, and I'm not tooting my horn when I say this is just how it turned out, but it is so dadgum incredible. It's like 10 Lord of the Ringses. I mean, our story has just done some amazing things, and a lot of that was up to the roll of the dice. It could have just as easily not been that exciting, but it was exciting, and our characters have really, I mean, we've come to know them, love them. It's just so neat how it's progressed. And it's amazing to me because after 20 years of not playing D&D and then being thrust back into it again as an adult, it's like, man, how much better are we at this now, you know? I mean, it was cool when we were kids, but now it's like, oh my god, dude. This is off the hook. Now we want to go in here. The doors are so big in this version. You sure can't miss them. I think the poop's gonna pop off in here. Room 54. Yeah, you know, D&D went through a period where it was just a dead art, and now suddenly it's hot again. It's like, seriously hot. I never got rid of any of my stuff. I still got all my books. Room 54. A dusty wooden chest sits in the southeast corner, the iron lock rusted through and the wood decaying from the dampness. If I remember correctly, there is a copper ingot in that box. Oh, we should search for traps, though. There is a trap. And I think there's some poisonous beetles in there. Copper ingot. Sean says he remembers playing Commodore 64 when he was a kid in school. Yeah, you know, I played it for years. I cut my teeth on so many of the great RPGs on this, mainly because a lot of RPGs, or just their sequels in certain instances, weren't released on my Atari 1040 ST, my computer of choice, just because, you know, the computer generally did not sell that well. Commodore did. Everybody had it. So anything available for an IBM or a higher-end computer was available on a lower end on a Commodore, which was just fine. Graphics didn't matter to me then, and they don't now. You know, But I think in the mid-90s, my mom sold it at a yard sale. So, yeah. And I was too busy having long hair and playing rock music to even think about what happened to it. A swamp rat. I think we've really finished this dungeon out, so we're going to go collect some money, but not before we put one right between the swamp rat's eyes. Or in his asshole. We got him. You know, we did alright on this. I think we survived alright. But Commodore 64 was off the hook. Optimus, thanks for dropping by, dude. Always great to have you in the live streams and as part of Mer Nation. Now that door there is the exit. Now you notice when I take long strides of like 9 steps, my fatigue is going down. And that's because he's holding a good bit of stuff now. That wouldn't have been an issue at the beginning of the adventure. And there are some treasures that weigh ridiculous amounts. So you really have to get into inventory management the higher up you go in some of the more difficult levels of this game. Alright, so we're going to examine the treasures. And here it shows you what everything was worth. So the moss was actually valuable. I don't know who buys moss. Maybe Moss Man from Masters of the Universe. The algae was worth a little bit. Sold some mushrooms. The copper ingot was worth 20 silver because it was a big old thing. And the trash, of course, wasn't. I didn't know we still were holding any. So we're going to return to the inn. Oh, they were going to give us that anyway. Okay. All this is automatic on the Atari version, so sometimes I don't know what this wants from me. Alright, 93 silver, and that's cool, I guess. We need better armor. And I can't afford a suit of ring mail yet, and I would really have liked to have upgraded. We're not going to be able to upgrade yet. EC Myers Vids is in the house. Welcome, EC. You were in time to see us play some Temple of Apshai Trilogy on the Commodore 64 Mini. Let's see. Oh, we still have plenty of time. We're going to go into another dungeon, but first, we're going to get some more healing salves because we busted through a lot of them. Let's go ahead and get... Let's get 3. I want to be conservative. I don't want to be stupid, but I want to save some money. And we should replenish our arrows. We used, how many? 5? So let's get 5. And we will enter the temple. Now we will enter the upper reaches of Apshai. Why don't we do that? We're going random on this. Let's go into the second level of the upper reaches. This is the monastery. This is a monastery that we're going through. You did end up ordering it. Cool, man. Yeah, dude, if you get one of these in the mail and it doesn't make your day, you know, that dude ought to be calling you up saying, dude, you are like the best friend I've ever had. So this is Bendick's Monastery. And the story behind Bendick the Monk, there's Bendick the Monk, Lowenthal the Wizard, Elias the Dwarf. These other characters, what they do is they rescue you if you die. Maybe. Sometimes when you die, you're just dead and it's permadeath. It's a randomly generated thing. But sometimes one of those other characters can save you. And when they do, depends on what happens afterward. They may want a small donation. They may want all your treasure. You don't have a say in it. They get what they want. But yes, that's the whole idea. And this is the monastery of Bendick the Monk. Or one of them is anyway. This level 2 is Merlis's cottage. But it's all part of the... I think level 4 is the monastery. Yeah, level 4 is the monastery. Alright, so the small foyer of the cottage of Merlis the Mage. A pale greenish light emanates from nowhere in particular, and the walls are decorated with arcane symbols and spooky magical stuff that no doubt maintain Merlis's image, but don't impress you much. Well, I, for one, am impressed. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn here. Now let's get walking. A long, narrow hallway filled with remarkably lifelike sculptures of men and beasts. Paintings of the village, strangely distorted but oddly vivid, hang on the wall. The scenes seem to move when you are not looking at them. Sounds you can't identify emanate from the walls. See, this is the kind of stuff it wants you to know. Nostalgia has joined us, and so has Mainly Gaming. Welcome, guys. Great to have you in the stream. This is something I really wanted you all to see. We know there's something in the walls, right? So that would tell me that there's a secret door. I could have sworn there was one here. Well, it's been a minute. Let's keep walking. And again, examining the walls, that takes time. That takes actions. So a monster could have shown up there, and it could have been bad news. Room number 3. A corridor widens into a large reception area with many doorways. The chairs, seats, for those waiting for an appointment in Merlis's Magic Hall have seen much use. Okay. Well then. Let's go in here and see what's up. Doodle-doodle-doo. E.C. Myers Viz asked me, where am I reading this stuff from? I have the Temple of Apshai Trilogy book that came in my Atari ST copy. And same game, just different version. So all the descriptions are in there. And again, on the Atari version, the descriptions are in the game under the descriptions tab. So you can read them. Oh, that exited the dadgum thing. I didn't want to exit that. Yeah, re-enter the dungeon. We weren't done. I was not aware that was an exit. And I've still got my original Temple of Apshai Trilogy disc, but again, it is dead. A cat. We're just gonna fight a cat. It missed me and I missed it. Let's attack. And I missed. Let's hit him with an arrow. Dang, boy, he tore us up. Freaking crazy cat coming at us. Rebel Gaming Club! Welcome, RGC, to our Tuesday night live stream of Temple of Apshai Trilogy on the Commodore 64 Mini in beautiful 720p HD. A gremlin. You know how big the gremlins were back in the day? They actually put them in the game. That's hysterical. It was very rare that you would see a gremlin in the mazes, and we would always freak when we were little, like, oh, it's a gremlin, it's a gremlin. We pulled a gremlin. Let's put one right in its ding-dong. What am I doing? That gremlin is minus a ding-dong. I think both of those doors lead out now, that if my memory serves me correctly. This is a chamber going into his cottage, and those doors lead outside. So those are exits for when we're done. And that's cool. In case we need to make a quick escape. I don't know what to expect in this room. Room number 12. Turn the page. A back room in the cottage. There is a door leading out the back of the house into a forest. There are some empty vials on the floor of the otherwise tidy room. That may be an exit too. RGC says, am I doing an Octopath stream on Friday? Actually, that is the plan. Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of the prologue. And I've known since they announced Octopath that that was the game. I mean, if you buy a Switch for nothing else. And I mean, it probably could have run on a 3DS, to be honest with you. I mean, that's whatever, but they didn't do it that way. But, man, loved Bravely Default and Bravely Second. And this is cut from somewhat of the same cloth. It's just gorgeous. And I can't wait. I had already played the demo the first time it come out. Now playing the prologue as a different character. Kind of like my first choice on the characters. I was Primrose the first time. You could pick between her and the dude. Now I'm this Huntress chick that says F and N and stuff after every freaking word she says, and it kind of starts to wear on you after a while. So let's readeth in the booketh about the descriptioneth of this roometh. Yes, it's actually that bad in places, so it's like, whoa, okay, I get it. These passages connect several large caverns. They are narrow, dim, dank, and a bit drafty. Now, I want to see what's in that chest just as badly as the rest of you. I should be searching for traps. It's a trap. We don't want to step right there. That's a trap! Let's just see if we can get it from here. I didn't mean to spring it, but there's killer moths coming out at us. Yeah, I'm doing Octopath, man. Come on by for that. That's going to be hot stuff. And they say that the prologue progress will transfer into the game, which is great. There again, that's something Nintendo did with those other games. Bravely Default, Bravely Second actually had demos that you could transfer stuff into. Legend of Legacy did the same thing. Another great game I try to recommend that not a whole lot of people paid attention to, I don't think, on the 3DS. But any of you guys that liked Chrono Trigger, and oh my god, it's an empty chest, and we just picked up the chest. Any of you guys that liked Chrono Trigger, you gotta play Legend of Legacy. Same people. There's people in there that worked on the original Chrono Trigger. There's so many similarities to it, you know, just kind of, I don't want to call them love letters, but just almost Easter eggish stuff in there that makes it feel the way it does. Probably the most unique combat system I've ever played in an RPG. Was just fantastic start to finish. Had 7 playable characters, all with their own specific outcomes, and one true ending you can only get if you beat the entire game with all 7 characters. Who has time for that? Hopefully me before I die. Alright, we're in room number 7 now. A laboratory. There are many bottles and jugs you are afraid to touch, and some complicated machinery. There's a small crack in one wall near the ceiling and a door on the east side. Over the door, a sign warns danger. Do not enter. You know we're going to enter it. It's like we're going straight for the door. It's like the big red button that says do not push. But yeah, loving that Octopath, man. It's got a huge world map. The enemies are cool. And I will say, even though the Huntress's dialect is getting on my nerves, she's really cool because she captures the different monsters if she weakens them and then can reuse them in attacks. Almost like she's a freaking Pokemon hunter. Nothing wrong with that. Really just digging it, man. Those stories are always so in-depth. Robust combat. A guinea pig is on the loose. We're gonna take on a killer guinea pig. He's coming after me. I don't have a shot at him from this angle. I do have a shot at him from this angle. I think. Ooh, nailed his butt. A gremlin. 2 gremlins in the same adventure? What are the odds? Oh, crap. Okay. He just ran out of turn points there. Does he come up on me? Captain Retro has joined us. Welcome, Captain. Oh, God. He did hit me. Or did he? I don't think I took any damage. So, I mean, is there nothing in here? Room number 9. Another laboratory. This one is filled with cages of small animals. A sign reads, "Please leave, or you may scare the experimental animals to death." Well, we wouldn't want that. I feel like there's a hidden door in here, maybe. No, but there is another gremlin, sure as shit. Try to... Yeah, I was going to say, try to bottleneck him into the opening here, but... Boom. 15 arrows, we're doing good. Go ahead and use a salve. We got 2 back stocked. We'll use one more. What the hell? We got one salve left. We're fully healed. We're ready for whatever this thing wants to throw at us. I'm wondering if that door doesn't lead out. Surely not. Good question if they got sued or not. Again, yeah, at the time, the Gremlins were the hottest thing going. And I think they just kind of injected it as a monster into this game. And yes, it was totally a gremlin. You think that looked like Spike. The ST version, it was him. So I'm surprised there wasn't a little bit of a ruckus from that. Or maybe there was and we just didn't know. A cat. Also, if you hit Q, Q is for query, you can listen. You can listen through the walls and see if there's a monster in another room. And it sometimes can tell you that there is. You can actually talk to some monsters, too, by hitting... I think... Yeah, it's talk. No, T is to thrust. What is the command for talk, I guess? Well, you can talk to monsters, but... Not sure what the command is on the ST. Wadoosh! Let's see if we can find the command card here. Well, poop. We'll look at that when we find the... Oh, and you can parry, too. That's an option. Speaking with monsters. This isn't the command card, though. But we'll worry about that when there's a monster. Let's... I hope this isn't another exit. It can't be. Alright, room number 8. The cat's coming after me. Not what I'm wanting done. This is room number 8, is it? The crack leads to a huge nest and landing area on the roof of the cottage. It's not visible from below. The large flying creature, evidently one of Merlis's strange animal friends that usually occupies the area, is not here. Looking around, you see what looks like a large egg to one side. Well... What do you think is going to be in that chest? You know there's a trap in here, too. Uh-huh. The chest is trapped. Well, we're not going to fall for that again. If we go up on top of it and walk across the top of the chest, we should be able to pick it up without triggering the trap. That's a trap! I try, Wood. I try. I didn't mean to strike you, but there's a baby dragon in here? You know what I'm noticing is my arrows are kind of one... strike kills, you know. Normally it hits and it's not a kill. I'm wondering if they just you get a kill with every arrow in this game. It's got some differences. It's got some differences. And there's another gremlin. Got him with the sword. And another cat. So gremlins, cats, and baby dragons. There were no baby dragons in the Atari version. If it was a similar monster, it wasn't called Baby Dragon. I know that. That's why I wanted to play this so bad, you know, just to see what the differences were in a game that I've played all my life and has always been in my top 20 of all time, just because of the history behind it. Got him right in the tail. We are injured. Oh, the gremlins. Alright. Moving right along. A few minutes left. Let's see. We should be able to... Wait a minute. This is different, isn't it? No, this is the laboratory again. Wasps! Watch me hit wasps with an arrow. I actually killed the wasp during lunch today. Somehow one got into the house. So while making Salisbury steak, I had to attack a wasp. What sucks is you gotta take a step to make them take a step. Starting to think we do need to go in the door to the south. I'm afraid we're going to run out of arrows. I'm getting turned around in here. Again, you wouldn't see any other rooms like this in the other version, so... And it didn't look like that when we came here the other time, so it looks different to me now. But I know that, yeah, this is where this door was. I wanted to see if this was a pathway to deeper into the dungeon or another exit. Because this was not a huge dungeon. It's not. Okay, get ready. Buckle up. More to the dungeon. Room number 13. A path leading from the back door through the woods. It is bounded by large old trees and tall hedges. The shade of the forest is deep. A buzzing sound grows louder as you go east. Well, that's not going to end well. We're at 55% health. We have no more healing. Ugh. Crapola. Can we get it? A quiver with 7 magic arrows in it. Now, you can't purchase magic items in the inn. You can't get magic swords. You can't get magic armor. You cannot get elixirs. And you cannot get magic arrows. Those have to be found in the dungeon. And a magic arrow more than certainly is going to take somebody out. What I can't figure out, though, is so far in this version of the game, everybody I've hit with an arrow has died first time. Bees, which look strangely just like the wasps. Got 'em. Alright. Room number 14. Bat City. Oh, that's the wrong description. That's the wrong page. I'm about to say, don't tell me there's bats in here. Oh, this is still the same description. Room 13 through 17 is this path, supposedly leading into the woods. You guys don't even know about the retro stuff coming your way on this channel. Wait till we play Paladin on the ST. Y'all gonna see the granddaddy of all RPG makers, too. I've got so many amazing things to show you. Trying not to use my magic arrows. We'll save those for if there's a really big threat. Ooey! Ooey kazooey. What's funny is tonight on these entry-level dungeons, really the only monsters you guys have seen in this game have been comical at best. There are some rather fearsome monsters in this game, but so far we've been on easy street just trying to develop this character. I don't even have enough silver yet to purchase a set of armor that could feasibly protect us from the threats that I know we're going to come into contact with later on, especially when you get into the Pyramid of Ra and you got king cobras and wild camels coming after your ass. Okay, that one really missed. Again, I'm not really 100 on where all the hitboxes are on this one versus the old version that I'm used to playing. You did see a swamp rat, yes. How much do a Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain go for loose? No accessories? Probably not enough to warrant even shipping them. They want those accessories. I've seen some for sale, but you know, after you shipped them, whatever those people were getting for them, it wouldn't have been worth it. Like 20, 30 bucks, something like that, if they're completely gutted. Both of mine that I got didn't have all the accessories, but had most of them. And of course the wolf thing that you screamed into that I thought I was cool talking into as a freaking toddler. Oh, how did the bees just kill me? It worked. But anyway, I am slain. Now you can see what happens. And Olias the dwarf found me. And I believe he's the butthole that takes all your stuff. Because he hoards treasure. And we didn't really find any because he took it all. So that was a complete wash. We did get some experience. And again, your stats will go up as you go. Save character to disk. And I don't even know if that works so much or if that's just kind of cosmetic. I want to do a save state right there. Another great benefit of having these plug and play systems. Absolutely cool. Henry Gonzalez has joined us. Welcome, Hen. You're right there on the tail end. Make sure you watch the recap. You missed some serious retro action. Guys, this was a lot of fun. And granted, this machine isn't just a Temple of Apshai machine. There's 64 great games on this thing. See what they did there? But it was most important for me to show you this today, because all of you out there that are RPG fans, that are retro game fans, all those kind of come together in one big beautiful Venn diagram to go right down the middle of this fantastic stream that is the Temple of Apshai Trilogy, one of the most old school RPGs available on the market, brought to you by Epic Software, one of my favorite makers of old school stuff, everything except winter games, which largely sucked due to control limitations. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this look back into fantastic old school role playing with me. It's not the last time we're going to do it. Certainly not the last time we're going to stream stuff off the Commodore 64 Mini, and we are certainly going to be looking at more plug and play action. And we are just got into possession of a Hyperkin Retron 77. If you watched the unboxing, you probably enjoyed that. All kind of Atari 2600 retro action I'm going to be bringing your way in the live streams in the not too distant future. We're also going to be looking at the Atari 1040 ST in my retro computing segment. We'll be looking at some of the classics that I've got on there that I haven't unearthed in probably over 30 years. We've also got real Commodores in here. We've got the Atari 400. We've got actual retro computers that, while I can't stream them, we're going to bring really in-depth Let's Play videos to the channel so you can take a look at what it's like messing with that hardware in the year 2018, what it takes to get that stuff going right here in the game room. And this is what makes my heart happy, this stuff. I mean, it takes us back so far. It's one thing to play some Mario Brothers or some Contra. That's never going to stop getting old. That's always going to be cool. But there's so much stuff that I feel like people might have missed. And in this great day and age, in this technology, in this world of options that we have, you can go back. You can enjoy these things for the first time, present day. and get as much out of it as I'm getting out of it right here. Because we all know this stuff is as cool today as it was back then. We wouldn't be where we were today if it wasn't for this fantastic stuff. Speaking of where things are on certain days, I wouldn't be where I am today without you fantastic viewers. We've just passed 500 subs. Thank you for everybody that participated in the fantastic giveaway that we had, and thank you for everybody that subscribed to the Emceemur channel. If you haven't already subscribed to the Emceemur channel, I'm going to have to ask you right now to subscribe to the Emceemur channel. Be a part of what's going on right here. Rise up with Mur Nation. Hope that you like this video. Hope you're going to drop a like on this video. Let me know what you think about this video. Do you have this game? Do you ever play this game? Do you have a friend that has this game? Do you have a friend that has to play the game? Is it okay with you came to yourself? You can have the parents back. You can invite you to have to play the game before you got to the house to tell you can have dinner before you play the game. What did you tell you can have for dinner before you play the game? What was the for dinner before you play the game? Do you enjoy the dinner you have before you play the game? Did you throw up after you had the dinner? Did you play the game? Do you enjoy the game? Did you play with your friend? Did you tell you not to come back and work because they want to play it by yourself? Didn't want you to come over and interrupt them anymore. Let me know in the comment section what you think about everything that you saw here, because you know that I love getting a conversation going with you right here on the Emceemur Show. We are out of time for today, but get ready for live streams in the not too distant future. We're going to be doing Octopath Friday night because it comes out on a Friday. Nintendo, why you got to be different on us like that? You're throwing a wrench in the gears, but that's okay. We still love you all the more. Emceemur going to be signing out for now, and I will see each and every one of you guys again next time. Stay cool.